And now, let's start our first unit of the module, Unit 1, the sentence and the paragraph. I would like to start Unit 1 with some warm-up questions. Can you look at photos A and C and identify what these photos tell you? Right. These photos show that the students might be reading, discussing, and writing something on the computer. What about photos B and D? What do they tell you about writing? Yes, they are writing something on a notebook or a paper. What about you? How do you prefer to write? Some of you may prefer to type on a computer, while some others may like writing with your pen or pencil. When you write, what part of writing is easier for you? Finding a topic, writing drafts, or revising and editing your writing? Your answers may be different because you have different abilities. And I hope after you study this unit, you may find difficult and challenging parts become easier. You can do that because this unit will help you achieve the following objectives. First, identify paragraphs, format and organization. Write a topic sentence, supporting sentences, and a concluding sentence correctly. Identify unity and coherence of a paragraph. Write correct, simple structures. Use accurate capitalization and punctuation. And finally, recognize and correct fragments and run-on sentences. To meet those objectives, we are going through the following parts of Unit 1. Part 1, stimulating ideas. Part 2, developing a paragraph. Part 3, unity and coherence. And Part 4, editing your writing. Let's start with this first part, stimulating ideas, in which we are going to explore a paragraph and how it is formatted. Can you read the paragraph in Unit 1 in 1 minute and tell me the type of the paragraph? So this paragraph is called an opinion paragraph. It should not be a problem if you cannot answer the question correctly because we haven't studied different types of paragraphs yet. Now, let's consider what a paragraph is and what types of paragraphs there are. Here is the definition. A paragraph is a group of sentences about a topic. That means there may be more than one sentence in a paragraph. In English writing, paragraphs are generally divided into 5 types. Here they are. Descriptive paragraphs describe a person, a place, or a thing. Example paragraphs explain a topic by giving examples. Process paragraphs explain how to do something step by step. Opinion paragraphs show one's feeling, ideas and opinions about a topic. And narrative paragraphs tell a story. To format a paragraph, we need to pay attention to the following features. First, margins. A margin on the right and a margin on the left of a paragraph. It can be 1 inch or 1 1/4 inches from the edge of the paper. Spacing. A paragraph should be double-spaced. Indenting. The first sentence must be indented. Connected sentences. The sentences in a paragraph should follow each other. And title. A paragraph by itself usually has a title. To help you understand how a paragraph is formatted, let's do practice 1. Identify the title, margins, indenting and spacing of the paragraph on the slide. As you can see, red is the title of the paragraph. Then, the first word of the paragraph is indented. Lines of the paragraph are double-spaced to help the reader read the text more easily. There are margins on the left and on the right of the paragraph. Now, let's move to the second part of Unit 1, developing a paragraph. We are going to study paragraph organization, the topic sentence, supporting sentences, and the concluding sentence of a paragraph. Let's start with paragraph organization. A well-written paragraph has a topic sentence, supporting sentences, and concluding sentence. The topic sentence introduces the topic and tells what the writer will say about the topic. The supporting sentences follow the topic sentence and explain and support the topic sentence. The concluding sentence often repeats the information in the topic sentence in a different way. It also often states a lesson, prediction, request, or warning. To help you understand these three important parts of a paragraph, let's practice. Can you read the paragraph on the screen and note the topic sentence, supporting sentences, and concluding sentence? After reading the paragraph, you can see that the boy was scared by a snake that crawled across his foot. The topic sentence is the first sentence. I had a scary experience when I was a young boy. The supporting sentences start from one evening while my parents until the snake and took it away. And the final sentence is the concluding sentence. Can you go on with the next question? How do the supporting sentences explain the topic sentence? As you can see, the supporting sentences explain what happened to the writer when he was playing on the grass. A snake slithered over the toes. The supporting sentences also tell you how scary it was to the writer. According to the paragraph, the writer felt terrible and afraid. The next practice is reading the conclusion again and answering the question, what did the writer learn from the experience? The last sentence restates the scary experience and a lesson for the writer, which is never going outside barefoot. After exploring the paragraph organization, we are now moving to analyzing the first important part of a paragraph, which is the topic sentence. The topic sentence is usually the first or the second sentence in a paragraph. It introduces a new idea, it presents the topic and explains what the writer will say about the topic. The explanation is called the controlling idea. Let's look at the example. The topic sentence of the following sentences is my friend. You can see that the topic is the same, but the controlling ideas may be different. For the first sentence, the controlling idea is an honest person. For the second one, the controlling idea is the funniest person I know. And the last one is has a terrible, dangerous job. In order to write an effective topic sentence, you need to bear in mind the following features. Firstly, the topic sentence is not a fragment, it is a complete sentence. For example here, on the left-hand side, you can see that the topic sentence is a fragment because it doesn't have the verb. And on the right-hand side, it is a complete sentence. Secondly, a topic sentence is not too general. If you look at the example here, good in the topic sentence is too general, and it is difficult for the reader to know what the writer means by good. That's why we can improve the topic sentence by making it more specific. Smartphones improve communication among friends and family members. Thirdly, a topic sentence is not a simple fact or specific detail. If you look at the example on the left-hand side, $300 is too specific. It's difficult to develop it further. That's why we can make it better by writing. Because smartphones are expensive, people should consider several factors before buying one. To help you have a better understanding of the topic and controlling idea, let's complete this practice. In this exercise, you need to identify topics and controlling ideas. Now, let's turn to the second part of a paragraph, which is supporting sentences. Supporting sentences add information about the topic and the controlling idea. Supporting sentences can include definitions, explanations, and examples. There are different types of supporting sentences. Let's go through one example to see how different supporting sentences can be. So we have the topic sentence, young people are dependent on computers. Your supporting sentences can be supporting definition. Let's have a look at this example. Dependency on computers means that young people cannot perform the normal tasks and functions of daily life without them. If you want to explain how young people are dependent on computers, we will write the supporting sentences like this. In the old days, people memorized important information, but today's youth rely on their computers, cell phones, and PDAs to do assignments, record numbers, and save important information. As a result, they can find themselves unprepared in an emergency, such as an electrical blackout. Once their batteries die, these people will not be able to communicate. If we want to help the readers get a more specific picture of the topic and controlling idea, we will provide an example as the supporting sentences like this. For example, I do all my schoolwork on my computer. When my computer crashed last week, I lost my only draft of an essay that was due the next day. As a result, I got a bad grade. And now it's the time for us to do some practice to consolidate our understanding of the supporting sentences. In this exercise, we need to identify topic sentence and supporting sentences. You need to identify which sentence is TS and which sentence is SS. Let's see the answer. The topic sentence is, mosquitoes are interesting insects. The supporting sentences explain how interesting mosquitoes are. Mosquitoes are interesting because they are attracted to heat. They fly a long distance to find food. And although they have poor eyesight, they can use heat to find blood. Do you also find mosquitoes are interesting? I believe these supporting sentences convince the reader that mosquitoes are interesting. Now, let's come to the last part of a paragraph, the concluding sentence. The concluding or final sentence of a paragraph usually reminds the reader of the topic and controlling idea of the paragraph. The concluding sentence restates the main idea. For example, on the left-hand side, you can see the topic sentence. And on the right-hand side, you can see the concluding sentence. It restates the main idea with words with similar meaning. For example, love and admire, symbol of strength, and live a strong way. In addition to restating main ideas, the concluding sentence may warn the reader. For example, if you do not follow these steps, you may not get the grade that you want. It can also make a prediction. Soon everyone will be driving pollution-free cars. It can give an opinion about the topic. For example, some people might disagree, but I think lamb is the best meat for grilling. Signals for the concluding sentence can be in conclusion. For example, in conclusion, learning a second language has many advantages. And let's identify the best concluding sentence in this practice. The topic sentence is, There are 4 steps to finding a cheap airline ticket online. The best concluding sentence. So, we have finished the analysis of paragraph format and parts of a paragraph. We are now studying what can make a good paragraph. This part of the lesson will show you that a good paragraph should have unity and coherence. Firstly, a paragraph must have unity. A paragraph has unity when all the sentences support a single idea. The paragraph must have one controlling idea in the topic sentence. Additional controlling ideas make the paragraph lose focus. The supporting sentences must support or explain the controlling idea with examples, details, steps, or definitions. Ideas that do not support the topic sentence cause the paragraph to lose its focus. The concluding sentence should restate the main idea in the topic sentence in different words. It must not introduce a new topic. Shall we look at one example to see what unity means? We have the topic sentence, "My friend Adriana is generous." Can you read the supporting sentences? As you can see, all supporting sentences have she and provide details to illustrate that the writer's friend is a generous person. And the concluding sentence restates the main idea, but in a stronger way. You need to be careful when providing other details about the topic sentence. If the details do not prove how generous she is, they are not relevant. For example, if you describe how she looks or about her job without relating it to her generosity, your paragraph does not meet the unity requirements. Next, a paragraph must also have coherence. That means the supporting details are organized in a logical way. Writers must use time, space, or order of importance to present the supporting information in a paragraph coherently. And this example is organized by space. The example here shows different places in an order, from where you can see the signs to one side of a hill, the other side of the hill, and the things you can see on the left, at the front, or on the right. All of these help the reader follow the details more easily. After having a certain understanding of paragraphs, we now move to the 4th part of the lesson, editing your writing. In this part, we focus on language knowledge and skills so that we can write better sentences and avoid common errors. We will look at simple sentence structures, punctuation and capitalizations, and ways to avoid sentence fragments and run-on sentences. Now let's have a look at simple sentence structures. A sentence is a statement that expresses a complete idea. Sentences include affirmative statements, negative statements, and questions. A complete sentence must have a subject and a verb. A subject tells who or what the sentence is about. A subject can be a name like Emily, a noun like teacher, a pronoun like she. It can be singular like exercise or plural like eating habits. And it can be more than one word like Yoko and hero. What about verbs? The verb refers to an action or state. It shows tense or time. For example, verbs can be sings and walked. Let's now turn to the second skill, using correct punctuation and capitalization. You need to remember the following rules when writing your sentences. First, the first word in a sentence is always capitalized like letter T in the example. Second, a complete sentence usually ends in a period. Third, a question ends with a question mark. And sometimes writers use an exclamation mark to give emphasis to a sentence. Looking at this slide, you can see a common problem when writing sentences. It is sentence fragments. Every sentence must have a subject and a verb. Sentences must also express complete ideas. A sentence that is missing a subject or a verb is incomplete. It is called a fragment. For example, on the left-hand side, you can see incorrect sentences, which may miss a subject or a verb. And on the right-hand side, you can see correct sentences when we add a subject or a verb. Another common error that students often make is run-on sentences. Two sentences that run together without correct punctuations are called run-on sentences. One way to correct a run-on sentence is to put a period between the sentences. You can see in this example, the incorrect sentences can be corrected by adding a period and we capitalize the first letter. Another way is to add a comma and a connecting word such as and, but or so. For example, here on the left-hand side, you can see two run-on sentences. And to correct this problem, we can add a comma and a connector and. That's all about paragraph. In summary, we have looked at a number of important points under rhetorical focus. We have learned elements of a paragraph: a margin, double spacing, indent, and title. We have learned three parts of a paragraph: a topic sentence, supporting sentences, and a concluding sentence. We have learned a topic sentence, which includes a topic and controlling idea. We have also learned supporting sentences that explain the controlling idea. We have also learned concluding sentences that restate the controlling idea. And remember that a paragraph should have unity and coherence. We have been able also to go through some language and grammatical rules in making simple sentence structures and applying punctuation and capitalization correctly. We now know that we should also be careful in writing since we may have some problems such as fragments and run-on sentences. I believe if you keep in mind these points and consider them when writing your sentences and paragraphs, your paragraphs will be certainly effective and friendly to your readers. Thanks for your listening and see you again in Unit 2.